What's up, everyone? I'm Rachel, aka Ray Ray MUA, and today on my very first YouTube video, we're gonna be doing this right here. It's kind of like a pinkish, reddish halo eye situation. I'm really excited. I don't know about you. I hope you are. I'm just talking because I'm really nervous. So stay tuned, grab your brushes, grab some water, grab whatever you need, and let's get it going. Pandemic chic. Okay. So first we are going to start with Strobe Cream. I am a little bit more dry, and by a little bit I mean a lot of it. So this is going to be really great to add moisture, but there's also pearls of color in it, so it makes your skin a little bit more dynamic, kind of picks up a little bit of that light. So I'm just going to put a little bit in my hand, kind of rub it in, and just go to town. Perfect. Next, we're gonna go in with foundation. I personally like to start with foundation first. Usually I do it if I know that I'm not gonna be using eyeshadow that has like a lot of fallout. If I do end up using some eyeshadow with a lot of fallout, I usually will start with that first, or if I'm using black, because good Lord. So I'm going to be going in with Face+Body foundation, and I'm using the shade N1. So you just wanna shake it up. And then this foundation, you're actually encouraged to use your hands to apply. So I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand. And the reason why you are encouraged to use your hands to apply, because there is heat emulsion technology in it. So what that means is the heat from your hand is gonna kind of like bond the foundation together, and you get a little bit more coverage. I tend to like something a little bit more sheer because I like to see my freckles. So, but I want like an even tone. So this is like my absolute freaking jam, man. But so I pick up a little on my finger, and then I kind of go in here. All right, so I'm going to go in with my 170S brush. So it's a really nice, dense brush. So it's gonna kind of buff everything into the skin. And I'm not really like, you know, rubbing it in. I'm more so kind of pressing and like, what's the word I wanna use? I am like kind of pulling, but if you can see, like my skin isn't moving too much. Like if I was like really going for it, you would be able to tell. But here I'm just kind of pressing everything into the skin. Okay, next we're gonna go in and take care of our brows. So I'm going to be starting with a spoolie brush. This used to have a number 204, I think. Anyway, most brushes or most brow products already have spoolies on the end. I'm just bougie, so I like to use just an entire full brush for this. But so we're gonna start by just brushing our brows up. Now I like a fuller brow, so that's what I'll be doing. If you have thinner brows, cool, do you, boo. But we're gonna get them nice and the brow product I'll be using today is the Brow Styler in the color Spiked from MAC Cosmetics. I really like this one because it has a tip kind of like a fine tip Sharpie, so you can really get in there and give yourself some really clean lines, but still kind of get in there and create the look of hair without it being like too obvious. Also, apologies if you can, I live in a 100-year-old brownstone, so I have radiators, and I think ghosts live in mine because they like to whistle a lot. So if you hear that, or you hear my neighbors upstairs, apologies. Anyway, back to the brows. All right, so we're gonna start by underlining our brows here. So what's really great about eyebrows is you really don't have to think too hard. Your hair like already will kind of tell you where it needs to go. And then I'm gonna go up top here as well. Even with for our friends that actually don't have any hair, what's really nice is your eyes will also kind of tell you where they need to go, because we just kind of measure, like naturally that's where the end would be, naturally that's where the arch would be, and naturally that's where the end would be. So you can kind of like map it out. But I'm just really letting my brows kind of tell me where they want to go. And it's gonna look like I'm going a little too thick and a little too fat. That's totally fine because we're gonna kind of go in and blend it out and then clean it up as well. So I'm just kind of bringing it over to the end here, and then I'm just gonna kind of flick up because our hair at the end naturally grows up, and then as it progresses, it lays flat. So we wanna mimic that look of that hair. Oh, and I had one fall out, cool. Sweet, I'm gonna go take care of it. We're looking full, we're looking thick, we're looking juicy. So we're gonna go back in with our spoolie, and we are just gonna kind of brush up. Basically the exact same thing we did before to get our brows ready, but this is just gonna soften the color so it doesn't look as blunt and harsh and as done. Oh my God, my radiator is just screaming. Sorry, my cat's food dispenser went off, so went ahead and just finished combing my brows out so you didn't have to listen to that. Okay, next we're going in with the Studio Finish Concealer. A lot of these products are gonna be from MAC Cosmetics, by the way, but this is the Studio Finish Concealer from MAC Cosmetics. I really like this one because it's a little bit more creamy, so I feel like I have a little bit more control, especially since we're gonna be framing around the brow. I don't want the concealer to kind of like get all over the place. And I'm going in with a flat brush here. I believe this one's from Sigma. I don't know the number, so I'll have to look up and get back to you on that one. But so basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna start underneath the brow here, right? So we're going to go ahead and kind of touch into the product here, so you get just a little bit up top, okay? And then we're gonna go basically kind of like what we did with the pencil. We're gonna go underneath here. Oh my gosh, everything is so loud. And so I'm not quite going all the way up to the end here with the hair, and that's totally cool. But I'm basically just gonna kind of do that and then extend it out a little bit, and then we're gonna blend that out. So I'm gonna go do the other side. Okay, so we've got that one ready. So now we're gonna go up top, and this time you're gonna want to lay the brush into the product like flat like this. Let's see if I can. So I'm gonna kind of like color the edge. This is hard to do on the camera. So it looks a little something like that. And so same thing, we're gonna frame up top. Try to do this so I'm not in your way, but. And we pull it down. So exactly, like this is going to tell you exactly where it needs to go. And we already have a little bit of that product fishtail at the end. That's totally fine because we're gonna clean this up and blend everything out. So I'm gonna do the other side. Okay, now that you look like a crazy person with your brows mapped out, we're gonna pull up to kind of blend it out up top here. And again, I think it's important to note, you don't wanna press super hard. Like you obviously want to press enough that, you know, you're gonna move the product around, but you don't wanna hurt yourself, you know what I mean? Because also the harder that we press, the thinner the product becomes because of that pressure. We don't wanna do that. So I'm just kind of like pressing and flicking. Let me see if I can show you. So like I'm doing it with the pressure kind of like this, right? So I'm not going like this where the brush is like completely almost perpendicular. I'm just kind of like doing it so there's a little bit of an indent there. So that's about as hard as you want to press on your skin. So then we're gonna do the same thing underneath, except we're gonna kind of pull down and out. And if you happen to go up into the hair, that's totally fine because you can always just go in with a little bit more product and just kind of blend that out and just kind of even it out. So we got that going here. And see kind of how, like, I like a little bit of like this almost really light invisible color line here. You don't have to keep that if you don't want to. So all you would do is just kind of like pull it out like that. But I don't know, I kind of like the early 1900s or like 1920s where they're just kind of like all the way down to your cheekbone. I think that's kind of fun. All right, I'm gonna go take care of this one. Be right back. All right, cool. An important thing to note about eyebrows, they do not have to be identical. I always say with brows, they can be sisters, they can be first cousins, as long as they're closely related, that's fine. No one wants to sit here for 45 minutes and being like, oh my God, they need to be exactly the same. No one has time for that, even though we're all sitting at home doing nothing besides crying and holding our pets. Okay? Nobody wants to do that. So if we get kind of like to the third cousin, like twice removed by marriage or whatever, like might want to spend a little bit more time. But if they're not exactly the same, don't freak out. You're totally fine. Okay, so the next product that we're gonna go in with is the MAC Cosmetics False Lash Maximizer. So like I was saying at the beginning, I really love a fluffy brow. So I like to use products that are gonna give me like as much va-va-voom that I can for my brows. And I actually really love this product. Do not let the fact that it's white scare you. This dries down clear. But so what I'm gonna do is just go in and brush up here. And again, don't let that product scare you because we are gonna brush that through. But we are pulling everything up. Yes, oh my God, brows to the goods, honey. I love this for me. Oh, look at that height. It's so good. I really hope that we don't go back to like the late 80s, early 90s, just like teeny tiny little heroin chic eyebrows because my friends Mike and Trevor, anytime they do an impression of me, it's just them going no. So staying on brand, guys. So we're gonna go in with our spoolie brush again, and we're just gonna kind of brush up and see, like, my brows do not look white at all. And this product does a really good job of making them stay, but I also kind of like the fact that, like, as I do my makeup and as the day goes on, this arch never wants to play nice with me. Anyway, what I really like is, like, after a while, the hair will start to kind of like soften a little bit so they don't look as like erect, if you will. Sorry. Really? I don't even know how far I am into this thing. I made my first dick joke. Look at me. Being all classy. Anyway, so I don't even remember what I was saying. I'm so sorry. But yeah, so I like that they'll just kind of lay down and kind of like settle after a while, but oof, look at that body. Or are we doing that body yaddy yaddy now? I don't know. I'm not hip with the youths. But anyway, anything that's gonna make my brows look super full and double C thick, yes please and thank you. Okay, time for my favorite part of every makeup routine. I'll see myself. Try this again. Now time for my favorite part of makeup, eyeshadow. Okay, so we're gonna go in first with the 24-hour extended eye base from MAC Cosmetics. I love this stuff. A little bit goes a very long way, and I have a deeper set crease, so my lid back here will kind of touch around up here. So especially with matte shadows, I get a fair amount of creasing. This helps with that, and it doesn't go nowhere, honey, nowhere. So I'm just gonna take a little bit and just kind of like thin it out a little bit. Okay, so I think I got it. Okay, next we're gonna go in with our highlight shade. Now do not laugh at me, okay? This is my most used palette. I made it myself. It's looking a little dirty, but it's just eyeshadow stuff. Anyway, so we're gonna be going at, I know, I've hit pan. I'm waiting for my order, okay? I will have a new one, but it's really pretty, just kind of like this golden, oh my gosh, and I'm like blinding you too. Take my word for it, it's beautiful. It is more of like a yellow based highlight, so it picks up so much of the light, and I just love it, and everyone deserves to have it. And I will be applying it with a 239S brush. So it's gonna be more of like a flat paddle brush, but still, it's still fairly dense, but still has some movement. So we're gonna go ahead and pick it up in the product. And we're just gonna pop that right underneath our brow bone. Now, because I'm really sad and I don't have a lot of real estate when it comes to my eyelids, I like to use a really bright highlight shade because what that's gonna do is it's gonna drive up the look of my lid. Cause like, all right, let me try not to like cock it as I'm like if you're looking at this with no product, with a product, and I'm step it, this already looks more lifted, right? So like product, no product. Yeah, like this is so much better, right? Like the skin there is really thin, so over the years it starts to kind of droop, and I think that's what's happening to me, and I'm really sad, and I just want enough money for fillers or Botox or something, because your girl just wants to be like mildly surprised. That's all. I don't need to be like all the way up here where I'm like in a constant state of like surprise. No, I just need it to be like I hate myself. I just need it to be like, oh, why thank you. That's all I need. That's all I need. What am I doing with my life? The next color we're gonna go in with is a personal favorite of mine, but it's going to be used for the transition shade, and it's the color Teda Tint. You can find it in the nude model palette from MAC, or you can buy it on its own, but I feel like you guys are already judging me for how hard I've hit pan on nylon that I did want to show you that. But you can get it in a single pan, a pro palette size, or get it in this handy dandy little palette here. So I'm gonna go in with my 224 fluffy brush. Looks like that. Really nice and moves well, right? So with the transition shade, you do not have to be very clean with your application because we're really just putting this down as a base or kind of like a shade for all of the other eyeshadows to blend into because we want that really nice progression of color, right? So we're gonna go into the pan and pick up a whole bunch of stuff and then just go to town, my dude. And I'm switching, you're gonna hear me say this a lot, but I'm kind of switching in between a windshield wiper and a swirl. Windshield wiper and a swirl. Pick up a little bit more and just go to town. So I'm not exactly going all the way up to my brow area here because I don't want to completely erase that highlight, but I do kind of want that nice progression of color so it doesn't look so stunted. Like we don't want it to look like a 7-layer dip where it's just like highlight, transition, color 1, color 2, color 3. Like we want it to look kind of like, what's another food analogy that I could give you? Like a tort or something? No, I don't think that's right. Anyway, doesn't matter. We want it to look really nice and just blended and really cohesive. So let me go do this other one. We're nice and transitioned. Perfect. We are going to go in. The next color is this color called Per-Suade Me right here. This is by MAC Cosmetics again. It is a formula called PowderKiss. It is my absolute favorite thing that they have come out with. It blends so nicely. It looks so just soft and pretty but impactful. It also is water resistant. I'll say it again. Water resistant. Yeah, so good. So good. All right, so we are gonna go in with my other favorite thing that I'm probably gonna wax poetic about forever is the 221. So it's a little bit smaller than that 224, right? But because we're doing a halo eye and we wanna get really nice and up in that crease, we want something that can kind of like bend itself in there. Cause like, look at that, look how flat it gets, right? And like how I've been showing you before with like the pressure of everything, you don't wanna go like this, right? We don't want that on our skin because that doesn't help anybody. Does this look good? No, it doesn't feel good. So why do we wanna do that, right? So I'll kind of like show you while I'm doing it, like, anyway. All right, so we're gonna go in and just go do. So with eyeshadow and with most things in life, and most likely like with money too, it's always better to add than to subtract. So you don't want to go into the pan and just be like pick up a ton of color, like so it's all the way down here or anything like that. If you go in too heavy, then you'll have to spend more time blending it out, and you also just wasted like a ton of product because you're just effectively erasing out all the work that you just did. We're all about working smarter, not harder. So we are going to put this out in this outer third area of our eye, right? And we're gonna blend it up into that transition shade. Oh my God, this color is so pretty. Okay, and kind of see how like my brush isn't pressing super hard. Nope, we're just almost kind of patting it, patting and pulling. Not pulling like that, but just blending out those edges. They're not really harsh. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit more product. Now we're gonna go in the inner part of our eye. Oh, it's so good. So good. And I love a halo eye because like I have a deeper set crease, right? And I also have almond shaped eyes. So sometimes like a traditional smoky eye can make my eyes look a little too almond or a little bit smaller, whereas the halo eye drives everything up so they look really tall and almost a little bit more doe-eyed, just to make my eyes look a little bit bigger. All right, and see what I mean about being an excessive blender? There is no new product on this, but I'm just going to town. Cool, lovely. So you can see that I've left this area in the center here open, so you don't have any of that Per-Suade Me new like in the center here. And you can see kind of like how the color is slightly manipulated here and here, but we kept that part open. Cool. So I'm a monster and I'm gonna use the same brush for all of them. You absolutely can, because when we go out later or go in later to blow out here, weirdly everything is gonna be like kind of mixed together. You can use a new brush if you want to, but I'm not gonna. So there you go. So next we're gonna go in with another PowderKiss eyeshadow shade. This lovely lady here. That one's called A Little Tamed. That actually is also one of the lipstick shades as well in the PowderKiss formula. But so again, we're just gonna kind of go deep, 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 pick up a little bit, deep. And then same thing, where we're gonna start in the outer. Now you're more than welcome to start in the inner corner if you like to. I just happen to be starting on the outside today. You know, no rules. Live your life, man. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. Well, in some ways, who knows? But yeah, I'm kind of doing the same thing where I'm just kind of pressing, almost kind of patting, but I want to keep it a little bit below that line here, because the whole thing with like smoking out eyeshadow, think of a bonfire, right? You're looking at the bonfire and the darkest and most opaque smoke is going to be closest to the fire. And the higher that you go, the thinner and the lighter the smoke is, right? So the lightest color of the smoke is up towards the top. Exact same concept when it comes to eyeshadow. This is the fire, right? This is the fire. So we want to keep the darkest shades towards our lash line. We want the lightest shades up top. Because if we take up the dark shades here, it kind of like makes our lids disappear into the back of our heads. We don't want that. We want it to still look really awake without it looking too heavy. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay, so we're gonna go back in, pick up more, some more color, and we're gonna do the inner part. Just kind of pressing. And I can already kind of tell I got a little too much on this one because I think there was probably still a little bit left over on here. That's okay. We're just gonna kind of blend it here, and if I need to go in and add more out here, I could absolutely do that. Cool. Let me take care of that other one. Cool. So the next color that we're gonna go into, the bottom of our bonfire smoke, if you will, is this really pretty rust color called Devoted to Chili. So same brush, same 221. We're gonna go in really, really light this time because this is gonna go really close to our lash line and we're really not gonna take it up very high. So just like, that should be enough. So we're just patting. Oh my God, that's so pretty. Okay. And I'm sure you can see that I'm kind of pulling down on the edges here, and that's totally cool because we are gonna go back in with some concealer, but I am gonna be smoking out my lower lash line anyway. So some of that transfer, kind of like wrapping around the edges, I'm almost kind of doing that on purpose because I don't want it to be clean. I want it to be really opaque and really just soft and blended at the edges because I love a blown out lower lash line. So we're just kind of getting a jump on that. Ooh, child. Oh. So next thing we're gonna go in with, don't freak out, okay? Because with makeup, you're only limited to your imagination. We are gonna go in with a lip topper for the center part of our lid here. I know, don't freak out. Just be careful if you have sensitive eyes, like this isn't for everybody. I haven't tortured my eyes enough yet for them to like freak out and not let me do crazy stuff like this. But I actually really love using liquid lipstick on my eyes, especially for eyeliner. I have drier skin, so I tend to stay away from mattes on my lips, but nobody said you can't use it as eyeliner. This came out a couple years ago, I think for like Bling things or something like that. But so it's a color called Deliciously Disruptive, but it's just this really pretty kind of like glittery champagne color, I guess I would call it. So if you have like a pigment or like a glitter or anything like that, that would absolutely work. I just want to use this, so I'm gonna, Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to start with the doe foot applicator, but then go back in with a clean 239S brush to kind of press everything in. So I'm not gonna try to use too much. I'm gonna keep it kind of low and then take it to about right there. And then I'm gonna go in with my paddle brush and just kind of press. I don't wanna pull. I'm just kind of moving the product around before it dries. Ooh, see how that picks up that light? Oh, it's so pretty. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a little bit more, but still kind of keeping it low. And then pressing. And I'm not taking it above my orbital bone right here. Friends with a deeper set crease, what's the nice word I want to use? Because deep set eyelid. There we go, deep set eyelid. I want to get away from using the term hooded lid. Just it doesn't sound very nice. So deeper set eyelid. So that's when you really can't see a ton of your lid. You want to go a little bit above because you're effectively going to be creating your own crease, right? So you actually would take it up a little bit higher. So you kind of see it up here. Or if you wanted to, keep it a little bit lower so it would be more of like a flirtatious moment. So every time you blink, you'd be like, ah, look at that. Look at that. There you go. It'd be great. Alrighty. Look at that. So sparkly. Okay, now time for the really awkward part. I'm gonna tightline my upper waterline. So I'm gonna go in with the Technakohl liner in Graphblack, again by MAC. And do not judge me, but so what I'm gonna do is trying to like touch it and then run it back and forth. And again, I'm not gonna be particularly clean because especially when I blink, I mean, it's gonna kind of transfer underneath here. So cheers to the ugly face I'm about to make, but. And just kind of go back and forth. Oh my God, it's hard to talk while I'm doing that. Cool. See the difference? Like that, just a little bit of definition versus none. Makes all the difference. Okay, next we're gonna go in with concealer. I like to use the Prep+Prime highlighter in the color medium. what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of focus it here, and then we're gonna focus it here, and then just kind of pull. And then same thing on the other side, and then here. And we kind of want to take it up to the temples, and then just kind of pull it down. And then I'm gonna use Beauty Sponge here, and then just kind of press it. And again, I know I'm kind of erasing a little bit of that eyeshadow color that we did earlier. That's okay. It's just gonna make the color a little bit more interesting underneath the eye. And it also is kind of like sharpening that edge, which I actually really like, and extending it out. Like if it was culturally acceptable for me to just like blow out my eyeshadow to like, I don't know, my freaking ear, I probably would, if I'm being honest. And like how I mentioned earlier with why I liked using Face and Body, like already my freckles have been covered a lot, but they're still kind of there, right? So that's good. And I mean, we're still gonna go in with a little bit more product, so I'm still gonna get that coverage and that even tone without completely erasing one of the things I like about my skin. I'm also gonna add a bit on the center of my forehead, the bridge of my nose. I like to do my Cupid's bow, touchdown, and then my chin. And I didn't really like get any new product inside of the brush. I just kind of used what was left over because I don't want to be too highlighted. I feel like the sun just came out and everything is like 10 times brighter. Goodness. Living in the Midwest, gotta love it. And if you can see here, I have some like capillaries that you can see. It's because I'm a woman, I have hormones. Super fun. So I'm just gonna kind of bring that up around here as well. God, the faces that you make when we're doing makeup, so fresh. I feel like you guys are gonna hate me because I'm using all these products that they don't make anymore. But next we're going in with bronzer. This is the color called Baina Bronze, and it was a bronzing powder. It was like a limited edition shade, again, from MAC. But really, honestly, any just warm tone, if you like a cooler tone bronzer. Also, I guess, full disclosure, I like to use bronzer instead of like a contour shade. I'm effectively contouring, but not contouring. I don't know, but anyway. I'm gonna go in with a 168S brush. So I really like this one because it's tapered. So it's like more of a, it's not necessarily tulip, but it sits really nicely in that area here, kind of like that natural, like contoured area between our tragus and the tip of our cheek. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit. And just a tip that I like to share with people who are not super comfortable or like wanna learn how to contour, a really easy hack is to make a fish face. So when you make the fish face, it's hard to say, you kind of will get the area of where you were gonna stop with where the fish face kind of stops. So like right there. And you're gonna start from your tragus, like this little dingle hoppery thing here on your ear. So you're gonna start there to about right there. And our friends who have a little bit more of a rounder cheek, you're gonna kind of make a smiley face. You're gonna wrap it kind of right up underneath that cheek here, that lovely apple of your cheek, kind of pull it up there, okay? So, and I'm kind of like going back and forth, but I'm also gonna swirl. With the swirl technique, it disperses the color, so it kind of opens up so it doesn't look as harsh. And if you happen to go in a little too heavy-handed with color, you can always use your brush or whatever tool you use to apply your foundation and just kind of tap on top. And it'll kind of sandwich the color in so it looks a little bit more natural, or just kind of like take away some of that intensity, okay? We're also gonna go in around the hairline here. Now, I actually have a lot of real estate here, so that's why I'm adding a little bit more of that shadow, because I'm trying to create a little bit more of that like oval look. If your hairline comes down a little bit lower, you do not need to do this. Just put it away. Just focus here, and then focus here if you so choose, or focus here along your jawline. If you're doing your jawline, you're doing it to create more of a cut jawline here. If you kind of want to erase a little bit of that, you know, a little bit of the little extra gobble, if you will. But not everybody needs to do up here. I like to, because I have this space. So I'm going to take it along the edge here. So that's the one thing that drives me nuts about beauty. Beauty is not one size fits all. You have to figure out what works for your face shape, and this is what works for my face shape. So again, if your hairline comes down lower, you do not need to do this. If you have more of a square face shape already, you do not need to do this. You can leave it alone. Okay? I am gonna go ahead and show you guys, for those who are interested, what I mean when I say that you can like kind of contour your jawline. So I have a little bit of a double chin here, but I'm also like slightly looking down at the camera. But if I wanted to make this really pronounced, I'm gonna still use the same brush. And I'm just gonna kind of take it, you wanna take it up behind your ear, and then kind of underneath, and then kind of pull it down. So see how like cut that looks versus how soft this looks? Look at that. Look at that jawbone. Cool. We'll do the other side. So, and the reason why I'm taking it up underneath my ear like that is because, again, we want it to look like a natural progression of color. Like, we don't want to just be like bronzer right here, right? Because that would be too obvious. Because we're trying to create magic here. So we're gonna take it up here and we're gonna pull it down. And men, I mean, what man's watching this? But men, you can do this as well. Probably if you have a beard, it's gonna be a little bit more tricky just because you already have that growth and kind of like that volume right along here. But for my clean shaven pals, this is something that you can really do to really kind of focus and make that look a little bit more cut. Look at that. She is cut and snatched. Alrighty, next we are gonna go in with some blush, and this is the Mineralized Blush in Warm Soul by MAC. I love this blush. The Mineralized formula is my favorite blush formula just because it's designed to look like skin, because our skin's not naturally matte. So it has a little bit of shimmer, but it's only shimmery in that like our skin has a little bit of that shine to it, right? Like our skin's not naturally matte. So it's still gonna pick up a little bit of that light, but when you go in with your blush brush and blend it onto the skin, it doesn't really pick up a ton of light. Like it just still looks really healthy and like really hydrated without it being a cream as well, you know what I mean? So I'm going in with a fluffy brush. You could still use your 168 if you wanted to. I don't want to, so I don't know where this is from. I think it might be, is it Morphe? It might be Sephora, I don't know. But any really nice fluffy kind of angled brush will do. Now, I do this for myself and I do this for every person I do makeup on. You smile. I know it feels really awkward, but if you do your makeup, you're your first smile of the day. So this will kind of tell you exactly where that blush needs to go. If you have a bit of a thinner chin, like your angles really kind of come in at the edge, you can do it up a little bit higher. And I have seen that a lot of people have explored wearing blush up here. Your girl's got bangs, so it wouldn't be worth me putting blush up here because you wouldn't see it. So I am gonna wear it on my cheeks. Yeah, look at that. And I'm also kind of swirling and kind of blending it into my bronzer or contour. Look at that. Oh, girl, did she go jogging this morning? No, she went to sleep. Because who wants to go jogging? Especially when it's like -9 degrees outside. No, no. Same thing on the other side. Look at that. Look how happy she is. Look how happy and pink she is. Lovely. So good. See, and see what I mean? You can still see so much of my freckles, which I love. I'm covered and I'm even and I'm layered, but you can still see so much of my skin and I don't look super heavy. I just look even and I look like I have color. That's it. Cool. Now we are gonna go back in and blow out this lash line. So I'm gonna go and use my 221 from earlier, my dirty one. And I'm gonna go in with that first Per-Suade Me. Pick up a little bit and we are gonna go to town. And there's already color left over on the brush from earlier. So it's kind of a hack where I'm not gonna have to go and use extra product because it's still kind of like on here. But I don't wanna go in too harsh with all of that red on the outside here. Ooh, we are just connecting those edges. Love, 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 love. So I do want it to be a little bit more intense along the lash line here. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of that Devoted to Chili, and I'm gonna use a pencil brush. This is a 210S. You can use a Q-tip as well, same concept. It's just a really nice dense brush. So where I'm going in with the lightest of touches, just 1 and 2. And I'm gonna clean off the excess. And I'm just gonna kinda pull it along my lash line. Same thing, other side. And I probably went in a little bit, even like less harder the second time around because there's probably leftover stuff in the bristles. I'm trying to do this so I'm not like in the blinds. Okay. And then I'm gonna go in with my 221 again without new product on it. And I just kind of want to soften it just the tiniest bit. I probably don't have to, but again, remember I'm an excessive blender and I want everything to be as smoky as possible. So I want to smoke it out as much as I can. So we'll do that. And do I want to clean it up? Maybe do a little bit. This is me just being picky. I'm gonna go in with my sponge and I'm just gonna kind of press it here. Just to, again, make the opacity really nice and light on that edge there. Because I'm particular. And there we go. We're just gonna kind of also soften that edge there and just kind of round it. Love it. Cool. So the next thing we're gonna do is the HyperReal Glow Highlight Palette from MAC with the Morphe M501 brush. Awesome palette. And I literally take my brush, you know how like when you walk up to a piano and just go along all the keys? Same concept. Just pick up all of it. Just makes it really interesting. So with highlighting, it's kind of like the cherry on top, right? So I like to leave this for last just because it's like the last, I don't know, never mind. But we wanna put it in an area right on top of our cheekbone. And I like to do it kind of like a parenthesis, right? I wanna focus everyone's eyes to right here. So that's where I'm gonna put that highlight. So we just kind of touch the top of the cheekbones, kind of pull it up. I'm going a little bit more because I'm extra. So nice. Other side. Woo! There she is. That's what we like to see. And I'm about to do something controversial because I know a lot of people don't like this anymore, but I don't care. I like to do the bridge of my nose, the top of my Cupid's bow, and then I don't touch any more product, chin, and center of the forehead. I do this because, again, I'm super dry. Like, this is a hair desert dry. So I'm always trying to fake like I have like all of the moisture in my skin, right? So that just like kind of helps. Now I am gonna go in with my blush brush from earlier, no new product, and just kind of tuck. All right, next we're gonna go in with mascara things. I am gonna start with the False Lash Maximizer. again, because this adds, just like in our brows, it's gonna add a lot of body yaddy yaddy to our lashes. Now I am gonna kind of clean off some of the excess, and I hope you're ready to enjoy my lash face, or my mascara face, since it is just like the most beautiful thing we can do. So I'm gonna try to be super cute. Awesome. Okay. Then we are gonna go in with the Extended Play Perm Me Up Lash. I love the Extended Play family. It's like the original fiber mascara, except it doesn't make it look like you have tarantulas on your eyes. But it wraps itself around the lash, pulls it out and pulls it up. So it makes it really nice and like separated, but still gives it some body. And then this particular formula has curling oil in it. So the longer that it's on your lashes, the more curly your lashes get. So we're gonna pop that on. And I also shake my head back and forth. I think I was like 14 or 15, honestly, probably even younger than that, where I saw that you should like wiggle, like if you didn't want clumpy lashes, you should wiggle your mascara wand like back and forth. And I think that I am moving the wand back and forth, but I think I'm doing my entire head, so don't make fun of me. But your girl gets some separated lashes, so lovely. I'm not gonna make you watch me do the other side, so hold on. Alrighty, top lashes are done. Now I'm gonna go in with the OG Extended Play Gigablack Lash. I feel like you will not find a makeup artist that does not use this for lower lashes. It's phenomenal. It's the perfect brush to get in those like nooks and crannies of those lower lash lines, or like the lower lashes, and really just like separate. Like, look at that. Look at the difference. Oh, so good. So good. Okay, and the very last thing that we're gonna do to set this whole lovely mug is set with Fix Plus. I use the original because, again, your girl is dry, but MAC does make this in a matte formula as well, which is really good for our oily skin friends. So I'm just gonna pretend I'm at the base for Waterfall in Hawaii right now. I'm somewhere warm. I'm somewhere warm. I'm somewhere warm. Perfect timing, radiator. So let me fix the rest of this, and you can see the final product. Why, yes, she is a real person. Amazing. So I told a slight fib. The Fix Plus was not the very last thing. Lips are the very last thing, but I don't trust myself to put this on with a lipstick because, oh child, there'd be, I mean, the lip all up in here, and this is, it's cute, but it's a little difficult to put on, not gonna lie. So, first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna start with lip primer, Prep+Prime Lip Primer. I use this as chapstick, but if you use it underneath anything, it acts as adhesive for any color you put on top. So we are just gonna, that was Pop That Baby on, in case you couldn't understand me. So we're gonna do the top tail. Look at that, beautiful. Gonna work that in. Now we are gonna go in with Chicory Lip Pencil, which honestly is like my favorite lip pencil of all time. And I don't like to overline my lips, so we're just gonna do the natural edge. Then we're gonna go in with another PowderKiss product, but honestly, it's like my favorite formula of all time. It is the color called Stay Curious. It's just this really pretty kind of corally red? I don't know, but watch. And there we have it, the final look. I really hope you enjoyed learning this look with me today. I had so much fun doing it with you. I just really want to end this video just asking, how did you show up for yourself today? I know sometimes that we forget to ask that of ourselves, but I think it's really important, especially coming off the year that we just came off of, that we do self-care and we make sure that our needs are met. So what are 3 things that you did for yourself today? I'll start. I made myself breakfast. I let myself cry. Just, you know, 2021. I cry, that happens. And the 3rd thing that I did to show up for myself today was this. I've been wanting to do this for a while and today felt like the right day. So I'm so happy I got to do this with you. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you give yourself grace and I can't wait to see you next time. Go ahead and, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Like, share, and subscribe? Something? I don't know. Hit buttons. Help a girl out. So, thanks so much for watching and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.